My phone vibrated while I was mopping the executive floor. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Janitors don't get important calls. But I answered. Your wife has been arrested. Silence filled the hallway, the kind that hums in your ears. For financial conspiracy, fraud. Her associate turned on her. Her associate. I leaned on the mop handle, calm, controlled. What associate? I asked. A pause. The one she's been seen with frequently. I thanked him and hung up. Across the glass wall of the building, the city shimmered in gold. I'd cleaned these floors for years, listened to boardroom secrets through walls that weren't as soundproof as executives believed. She used to laugh at me in these halls. My husband, she would say to her colleagues, keeps things spotless. They thought she meant loyalty. She meant floors. And last Thanksgiving, when I asked if I could join her corporate dinner, if you want to join Thanksgiving, she had snapped over the phone, come wash the dishes. I remember staring at the bucket of gray water. I replied with one word, enjoy. Now she was in handcuffs, and I was still holding the mop. Her name is Elena. CEO, charismatic, ruthless. My wife. On paper. In reality, I had become an accessory she wore when it suited her narrative. The humble husband. The symbol of how grounded she was. But I began noticing the fractures months ago. Late-night strategy sessions. A new perfume that wasn't hers. Cash withdrawals she didn't bother to hide. Then there was Victor. Ex-con, supposed security consultant. He had eyes that measured exits before faces. She started defending him before I even accused. He understands risk, she once said. I understand risk, too. I just calculate it differently. One evening, she came home smelling like cigar smoke and adrenaline. She kissed the air near my cheek. You wouldn't understand my world, she said. She was right. She had no idea I built it. The janitor uniform was never about money. It was about invisibility. Years ago, I sold my tech company quietly, structured through layers of trusts and offshore entities. Anonymous investors, Swiss accounts, billions. I kept none of it in my name. I wanted to see who loved me without it. Elena met me after the sale, when I was already wearing simpler clothes. She thought she chose a man beneath her. I let her. But when Victor entered the picture, the betrayal shifted. It wasn't just infidelity. It was collaboration. I overheard enough through vents and forgotten. Conference calls to piece it together. Shell corporations, insider trading, siphon funds. She wasn't just cheating on me. She was building an empire with a criminal and mocking me while doing it. I didn't confront her. I polished glass and listened. I pulled phone records through a private investigator who believed I was a jealous husband scraping savings together. I wasn't scraping, I was encrypted messages. Offshore transfers tied to Victor's old contacts. Property purchases under layered LLCs. I traced them. Patiently. At night, Elena would sit across from me at dinner, scrolling through her phone. You're quiet, she'd say. I'm tired, I'd reply. She mistook stillness for weakness. One evening, she laughed, wine swirling in her glass. Victor says ambition is everything. Some people are just meant to clean up after it. I met her eyes. Some people, I said softly, own the building. She didn't hear the warning. I compiled everything, dates, transactions, recordings. I didn't send it to the police. Not yet. Instead, I made a single call to a federal investigator. I'd once funded anonymously through a cybersecurity grant. I gave him a thread. He pulled the sweater. Victor panicked first. Criminals always do. He rerouted funds too quickly, drew attention, made mistakes. Elena trusted him. She always trusted the loudest man in the room. Meanwhile, I transferred a small portion of my wealth into a visible asset. A villa in Switzerland. Modern, glass, snow resting like silence on the roof. I allowed photos to circulate quietly through business circles. Anonymous buyer revealed me. My real name. The one buried beneath janitor credentials. I waited. The arrest happened on a Tuesday. By Wednesday, the photos were public. Local CEO's husband revealed as reclusive billionaire investor. Her lawyer called me first. She wants to speak with you. Of course she did. I visited the detention center wearing the same janitor jacket. They brought her in. No makeup, no control. What is this? She demanded, sliding a newspaper across the table. My villa stared back from glossy paper. You're worth... Her voice cracked. This is fake. I tilted my head. Calm. I built a company before I met you. She blinked. You cleaned floors. I still do. Silence swallowed her. You let me, she stopped. The realization arrived slowly, like frost spreading over glass. You let me believe that you were superior? I finished gently. Her fingers trembled. Victor said you were nothing. Victor says many things. I slid a folder across the table. Copies of transactions, recorded calls, evidence. You gave this to them? She whispered. I gave them truth. Her breath quickened. You destroyed me. I looked at her the way one examines a broken contract. No, I said quietly. You did. Her phone rang 71 times that week. From her cell, she could only watch as board members distanced themselves. Investors withdrew. Victor negotiated his sentence by offering her as leverage. He always intended to. In our final meeting, she tried a different tone. Soft, fragile. We could start over, she said through the glass divider. With your money, we could fix this. There it was. Not remorse. Opportunity. You mocked my life, I said. Invited me to Thanksgiving to wash dishes. Her eyes filled. I didn't know. That's the point. I stood. You chose a criminal because he looked powerful, I continued. You ignored the quiet man who already was. She pressed her hand to the glass. I loved you. I studied her expression, searching for truth. I found calculation. You loved what you thought I lacked, I replied. Then I walked away. No raised voice. No dramatic exit, just measured steps echoing down a corridor. I live in Switzerland now. The villa is silent. Snow absorbs sound the way time absorbs anger. Sometimes I still wake early out of habit. I make coffee. Polish the glass walls. Old instincts don't disappear. They refine. Elena was sentenced to 8 years. Victor received less. He will betray someone else eventually. She calls sometimes. I never answer. Revenge isn't loud. It's architectural. You build it patiently, beam by beam, until the people who underestimated you find themselves trapped inside the structure they designed. She thought I was a janitor cleaning her world. In the end, I simply removed the trash and locked the door behind me,